Victors take responsibility for all of it. Victims point the finger. What I learned the other day from posting that video about black owned businesses and how I don't seek them out just because you're black. I'm not going to spend my dollars with you just because you're black. What I learned from that video is a lot of people understand where I'm coming from, which is interesting. I was happy to see that. But then some people still are very, very attached to the idea that black people just can't make it without extra help. And I shouldn't be surprised. I'm not really. But it's an interesting topic because let me tell you, you can't have it both ways. There is a group of people who want to hold two opinions at once. On one hand, they want to tell you black people are capable, they can endure, they can do anything that any other race can do, all things I believe to be true. Yet they want to hold those opinions over here. And then over here, they want to say, but because of how I'm going to put some air quotes around we, because we're going to talk about that too. Because of how we have been treated, we need more help, more resources, more things given to us. No, ma'am. No, we're not doing that. See, you cannot be both the victim and the victor. I know y'all want to be, but you can't. Either you are someone who is going to go out and win and take all the responsibility on your very capable shoulders and sit that shit right here. And no matter what comes and punches you in the neck, karate chops you in the throat, you're just going to be like, yeah, I'm good because I am that dude. That's going to be you. Or you will forfeit all responsibility and blame everybody else. And what comes with that is no responsibility. So it's never going to be your fault, but you have no autonomy. You are nobody who can control anything because you have forfeited your ability to control your life every time you point the finger at somebody other than you. What a lot of people who watched that video don't seem to understand is that no matter what the world has going on, that black people or any other group, black people is an example, anybody else has to suffer through, if you don't take responsibility for where you are in your life, whether it's your fault or not, you are always going to be looking for someone else to fix things for you. Always. Again, I had a video months ago where I talked about how even if it's not your fault, if it's happening in your life, it is your responsibility. And what that means is if you're going to ever have true autonomy as a person in your life, if you ever going to be out here actually controlling how things go in your life, you cannot turn around and blame other people when things go wrong, even if it's not your fault. Because guess who has to deal with the consequences of things going wrong in your life, regardless of whose fault it is? You. So when you get on here and you watch that video and you say, yeah, but black people have had to, and this is my favorite. Here come back to the we. We have gotten our labor and our creativity stolen. Negro, what creativity have you had stolen? One of my most annoying things that black people do, I see black people do this more than anybody else, is put we and our on fucking everything. Y'all trauma bond so hard that every time one black person suffers from it, you act like you was right there with them. You have not created anything. You've created nothing to be stolen. Don't sit here and tell me about how some other black person created something and then it was stolen from them. And then say, yep, see, that be happening with black people all the time. As if that's something unique to black people. First of all, people steal ideas all the time. Ideas are nothing without execution. The person who gets their idea out there and is a success with it actually had to execute on it too. So please don't talk to me about stolen ideas. And then how silly do you look to attach yourself to a struggle that you never experienced? See, we do this so that we can all benefit from this trauma bond shit. So we all can say, look at our collective trauma. We all need help. No, you have not created anything 'cause you've been sitting your ass on the internet all night. You haven't created anything because you don't go to work. You don't have any family because you don't take care of your kids. That's a you problem. Don't talk to me about your creativity. Talk to me about the things that you have gone through. See, black people like to be a monolith when it benefits them. When it's okay, when it makes sense for them to say, look at our collective trauma, then all of a sudden it's a we. But if you try to lump black people all together, then it's like, oh, no, we're all different. If we're all different, then fucking act different. Tell me about how you have suffered. You specifically. And then you explain to me how it was unfair and unjust if that's what you want to do. But just know, at the end of the day, even if you're right, it don't matter. If you get on here, you write a whole paragraph about how unfair you were treated and you attribute it to racism. Again, let's assume you were right. Now what? Well, that was unfair, John. That's unfair. Okay. And now what are you going to do? See, when you're a victim, you expect that to be the end. You expect that to be okay. Now I am owed. You're not owed shit. You're owed nothing. This world owes you nothing. Why do I think that? Because you specifically, if you're watching my videos, majority of the time, you're living in America. If you were fortunate enough to land here, the cosmos owe you nothing. Nothing. You already won the lottery. How dare you sit on your ass on the internet and talk about how unfair life is? What do you know about unfair? You could have been born in a lot of other places in a lot of worse situations. You're sitting here with access to the internet and a smartphone talking about how the world's unfair? How fucking dare you? You need your ass kicked. You need your ass kicked. This is what's wrong with not only our community, but in general. We have a problem in America about how we see ourselves. And this is why my video the other day about what you bring your attention to tells me what you care about is so important. If you are going to sit there and blame the rest of the world for where you're at, you have decided to be a victim. And if that's the case, then fine, be a victim. But don't sit here and attach to other people's trauma. That's the other thing about the whole trauma shit, about our and we and how we had to suffer. I am so tired of people saying we had to go through slavery. This was built on our backs. Nothing was built on your back. You ain't never had no job. What are you talking about? Now, if you are someone who has actually suffered through that, where you had to work a job where you were paid $0 and you just saw none of the fruits of your labor, okay, you might have an argument. But that's none of y'all. None of y'all had that. All of y'all are just working jobs y'all don't like, being paid less than you want to be making. That's not slavery. How dare you assign that to what you were experiencing? What would your fucking ancestors say? I feel like none of y'all would be so blatant with this goofy shit if y'all ancestors are still alive. Because a lot of them would slap y'all across the mouth. If they could see you, if they could see the product of what they fought for being manifested on the internet the way it is, they would not be proud. They would look at us and be like, this is what we got? This it? You are sitting online. Just think of just walk with me for a second. You sitting online complaining about how the world is unfair, living in America, access to the internet, access to bank accounts, access to capital, a smartphone in your pocket, and you are still getting sympathy points off of the backs of people who had to sit at the back of the fucking bus and use different fucking toilets. You know nothing of suffering. Stop pretending that you do. Stop using your own self-inflicted wounds to act like you know what's going on, because you don't. Victim or victor, you have to decide. One or the other.